Thank you. And our talk today is about generator in our regular life and how generators can help for developers improve their work. My name is Maxim Danilov, and I am already 25 years in software development. And in the past, I have 10 years assembly. It was really rocket science, and 9 years I work with Python and Django. I speak of many conferences you can find on YouTube, many my talks, mostly about Django. And before my talk, I want to say thank you. And thank you for Bitbucket. Here on this link, you can see all my examples from these talks and talk and slides. Okay, before my talk starts, I want to say thank you for two firms who support me on conferences. Agile Group is a game changer in camping industry in European Unity, and for German-speaking countries. And Websoft, we creating e-commerce solutions for restricted products. It is really a special range for e-commerce. Delphi, React, Python, and Vue is our technology stack. And I want, of course, say thank you for my team who support me. Anastasia Sen created design of all my presentations. Pavel Pelikin completely disagree with every my idea in presentation. He is our senior developer. And Martin Achenreiner is intern in our company. They test all my crazy idea. And thank you for my family. Elena, Mark, and Maya, they wait me at home. Okay, let's create a problem. Every programmer should create a problem, and after that, we should successfully solve this problem. For example, my problem. I want to create GraphQL, but I want to use Django REST framework. A request should contain a model name and fields which I want data from these fields I want to receive, and response can be model name, and model name is hero, and name Maxim Danilov, age 45 years. Okay, not too old hero. And for Django REST frameworks, our request can be in form like a URL with hero, and after that, in query string, we send fields which we want to receive. And there is the problem. If I send on Django REST framework to serializer which serialize for me all fields, my ask takes around 200 milliseconds for answer. And if I ask only 2 fields from model, it takes around 300 milliseconds for answer. What? I ask for my developer who implement this solution in our project. And he implements simply existed solution from official documentation is in Django REST framework. What happens here? After supercall, we create a list from fields, and after that, we throw away fields from serializer which we don't need it. And it takes time. This is problem. Existed solution in documentations you already seen. Not existed solutions in our project you have not seen nor there. We simply say for serializer, hey, create only fields which we need, not whole fields from model. And what I want to say, problem is we create a big list of objects, and after that, we want to throw away objects from this list. You can say me, is made only junior developer. No, we can see this problem exists in every famous library in Python. And this is a problem. What I want to say, list and tuples, the most useless, overrated data collection. If you use list, you have a problem. I show why. They take time and memory to create data before use list. They take time to iterate through the object, and they hate developers be lazy and not care about their own code. You can avoid this with generators. Information, basis information. Generators has context switching. Generator can stop and wait on yield or on send. Generator has own locals, etc. Important speak about generators made David Beasley in 2009. Who already know about this talk? Please read about it. It's basis from your Python code. It should be basis from your Python code. Okay, each generator based on iteration. In PEP 234, it was introduced, this concept, iterable concept. It's really interesting. Some years before, it was already presented in other PEP, but community was not ready for this concept. Okay, right now we have iter built-in. Iter built-in help us to create iterator. Iter receive callable and sentinel. If callable, call of callable receive as sentinel, we throw stop iteration. Then as not equal, we receive result of call of callable. And it means we can create infinity iterator. Infinity iterator, this infinity we can iterate infinity times. And what we can do? We can take every moment from our infinity and carpe diem. Better than iter tools. Iter tools contains already infinity generators, but it works better and help you to stay in this moment. Catch the moment. Okay, for example, URL lib connection pool PI while true construction. Infinity generator, which we can break this exception or with break syntaxes. What we have here? We have statement while, which check the causa, and in compare of generator, we have generator, and this for loop works the same like the while true, but on the for loop, on the background, always on the every step, we call next. We don't have any clause check. It's important. Important for our life. And built-in iter, we can create stoppable infinity. What I mean, we can stop this infinity loop outside from my function, and we can stop my infinity loop inside function. With while true, we cannot stop loop. We can only break loop. And important is, if I stop my loop, I can achieve also else block. And if I break my loop, I cannot achieve else block. And it's important, if I stop my loop, I go through and the whole code in generator, and only after that, I go away from iteration. And next important information, simple generators with yield statement. For example, we have in request cookies PI, this function starts on every request. What did this function? This function create an empty list. After that, this function appends something to this list. And after that, this function goes through this list, completely not important movements. What we can do with these generators? I can extract it in generator, and after that I can with function with yield, this is generator, I can avoid creating a list, I can avoid adding in the list, and it helped me make only one. I can avoid second pass through this list. It seems a little bit shorter, but it's really subjective. If you use black, for you, shorter code don't matter. Okay, which profit we have here? We improve the memory usage, and it is faster. Faster? It's really faster. Who knows? Generator faster than iterator in loop or not? Who think generator is faster? Other case, loop through list is faster? Yeah. Okay. In reality, not always. If we have around 100 elements in list, generator is faster to avoid second pass through the list. If we have more than 10,000 elements in list, I don't know why on my computer generator is slower than lists. If somebody knows why, please tell me. I don't know why. But sometimes generator is really faster, around 60%. You can check all benchmark in GitHub. Okay, generator expressions. It's it's better than list comprehension. Believe me, it's better. For example, Pydantic. In decorators PI, we have this construction. Probably creator from this construction completely forget about generator expression. Why? This line number 3 made exactly the same what we have on the left side, but in one line. Okay, code is shorter, the speed and the what we result is the same, but code is shorter. Okay, and it helps us to avoid variable redefinitions on lines 5 and 9. Okay, it's faster to develop. I write not too much lines. And the important thing, we can stop normal generators with generator close. I like this PEP. It's important for me. For example, I take this from DjangoDB query API. We have a parent loop, and we have child loop. What we want to do? We want in child loop goes through the list, again through the list, and if something happens with objects in this list, I want to break parent loop. What they do here, developer from this code, they create a flag, they invert this flag if something happens, and after that, on the end of loop, they break this parent loop. It's not clever. What we can to do, we can declare parent generator. We should use parent generator in for loop, and after that, we can throw away these lines of code. We should only call a parent generator close. It's all. And I like close. We use close everywhere instead of break or instead of other possibilities. Okay, and last important information is yield from. I like this PEP. Why? It helped me to be efficient in my code. this example from library Django contrib admin. I like this library. I made much research for this library, and you can find it on my previous talks. And what we have here, we want to create read-only fields in one form, and we call super, created list of fields, and if user is super user, I add, not super user, I add some fields. I deprecate, I made some fields as read-only. And after that, I throw this list as result, in result. But with yield from, I transform this function in generator. And at first, I yield from supercall, and after that, if I need it, I yield one additional field from here. And instead of create of list, I yield from supercall. Instead of add to list, I yield the last field. Okay, short, clean, probably faster, probably. Okay, by the way, we have also one PEP. Their yield from was changed on await, but probably in my next talk. And sometime I want to change something in Python, and let's see on zip in Python. This implementation you can find in documentation, and also zip in Python works right now works better with new PEP 618. Unfuck zip implementation. What happens here? We yield tuple for every step. What happens here? We create some sentinel. I don't like it. And I simply don't like built-in zip in Python. My colleague Sami, probably it's yours. But I want to create my own zip. And I can change all this internal child loop in one generator. And after that, my own zip, it's a little bit shorter. And I avoid here list creation. But this is not enough for me. I want my own zip. This is not enough. My colleague, nice joke, you made my day. But I did it. This is all PEPs which I already tells in one line. This is zip. And it works. It works in our old project. Probably you don't understand how it works, but it works in old project, but not for Python 3.5. With new PEP, they changed stop iteration handling inside generators. I think this PEP is wrong. I already speak with Chris Angelico, who author is from this PEP, and they offer me to speak with community. Probably modern community can be agree with me. I try. Okay, stop iteration, change rules in Python. Every new version in Python change rules. And after discussion with Chris, we have this ugly construction. I still don't agree with that. At least we should not forget about generator pipelines from David Beasley. For example, source analyzing. As a Starlet package, config PI. In Starlet package, we read settings file, we create dictionary, and after that, they made something work with every string line, and we create at last k-value dictionary. This all, what I mark here, this all we can wrap, change with pipelines. At first, I create pipelines which read the lines, string lines. At second, I strip these lines. At third, I I change line on the key-value, and at last I return dictionary. And this all happens only with only one iteration through the read file, not with more iteration. Okay, it's a little bit shorter, but why should we use a generator in our regular life? Because generators live only once. Their lives is short, and it helps us to avoid repetitive loops. It helps us to rethink architecture. It's important. With generator, we cannot go many times through the iterable. It's important. And this helps us to avoid data creating before we need it. Okay. Some words about generator debugging. At first, we can use iter tools, and iter tools created for us clone from our iterable. Please read documentation before use it. At second, we can import more iter tools, and there we can receive some objects from generator and generator itself, only to research some objects what we have in generator. And of course, we can create simple wrapper which print for us every object in generator before we use it. It can be logging, it can be print, don't matter. And of course, simplest way to create it, we can unpack generator in unpack generator, and after that we can check all objects, and we can pack generator, pack all elements again in generator. Please don't forget, this not work for infinity generator. It works only for generator with end. And what I found here, if I unpack generator, if I use unpack syntaxes in Python, I receive a list. But if Python unpack arguments in function, we receive a tuple. It means Python don't like type consistency. Simply, you want typing, please, you can do it, but Python don't care about it. And this is a problem. This is not solved yet. Okay. And right now, some for loop statistic from our ordinary life. I tried to investigate how many not clever developers we have, and how many libraries can be improved. Oh, good formulation. Fast API my life, really. I investigated the code from Fast API, and it was really pretty written library. I really want to learn from creator from this library, really. Why? Fast API contains only 42 files and have only 70 loops, and it's around 40 yields. It means Fast API use more than 50% is a generator. But Fast API built on Pydantic and Starlet. This is not too well written libraries. What we have here, Pydantic use only 24% generators, and Starlet use only 8% generators. It means Starlet can work faster, and Pydantic can work faster if we improve this. And my love, Django, use only 6% of generator, but problem is Django have around 6,000 loops. But this library is not scientist's library. This is only a web service with additional packages For me, it's no only ask, why too much loops? Okay, pandas, its scientist library, have only 2% generators and other cases loops. But Django REST frameworks, probably this library, which I want to avoid in future, use only 1% generators. It means it works. And everybody uses Django REST framework if you work with Django, I'm sure. But right now, you can think about it. OK. For me, this is strange. Many people speak about black, clean code, hexagonal architecture, but they don't care about data processing on their own code. I don't want to criticize something, but I offer sometimes to check loop statistic in your project. Probably it helps you to understand what happens in your code with repetitive loops and how you work with data. And probably you can be more effective in Python and in your software. Thank you. All examples you can find in repository. Also, you can find in this repository examples for all my talks and my next talks on EuroPython in Prague. Probably we can meet there. That's all.
Thank you very much. So we have a few questions. First, what is the most beautiful generator you ever wrote?
Beautiful generator?
Most beautiful generator you ever wrote?
I was really proud on my one-liner zip, but of course I wrote also not only zip, also I have a chain and I override reduce. We don't have any reduce right now in Python, and I override reduce. I like override every generator's function, and zip was a short example. Shortest example, which was broken with new Python.
Have you ever used the .send method, and in which real use case? The first one.
I have sent, of course, peoples. Send method in generators. Send invert my generators in coroutine. I use coroutine everywhere. Mostly in Obviously Life, I use coroutine for to create context manager, which based on coroutine. You can read about it for context lib, context manager decorator. It's really important and easy to develop nested and repetitive, to avoid nested and repetitive strings in our function.
A generator is empty after using. How to debug effectively, sorry.
Please check my slides between 60 and 70. I already tell about it.
Related to the performance slide with the chart, could it be related to the fact that it calls a function?
I already shows how it works. This test is test from request clearcache.py. This function I improved and I show the statistic. It was worked test from existing library requests.
If we need to know the length of generated elements, what's the best way?
Best way, don't know the length of generated elements. You don't, sometimes you don't need to know the length before you end work with generators. But on the end, you can use, for example, enumerate and last index. It shows us the length of elements.
Thank you very much. We don't have any more time. One thing, lunch is at 1:15, so in 10 minutes, and you go down. There is also osteria if you have taken the ticket, and there is the lunch box if you want. Thank you very much.
Thank you.